Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to another week of Force Wheel News. As always, if you guys are looking for Force Wheel singles or sealed product, be sure to check the link in the description below for Happy Little Hug Factory. And also, if you are looking for Caster Chronicles sealed product, we're able to get in some of the other older product. It might be sold out, I'm not sure. But they also have pre-orders open for the new set. I'm not sure how many they'll be pre-ordering, but be sure if you want to see them carry more Caster Chronicles to check that out and support them if you can. Also brought to you by Play DKP Accessories with the magnetic playmat. If you guys are on the go, in the car rides, outside, or even want to go to your locals with less hassle, make sure to get this magnetic playmat. It's really cool. And right now, if you go over there and use our code TCG, you'll get 5% off. And that also lets them know that we sent you over. So be sure to check that out. So first bit of news is Jeff Finnegan made a post that he's going to be doing a Q&A stream. So this is pretty cool. If you guys remember, Jeff Finnegan was the global liaison for Force of Will, and he would do monthly Q&A streams with the community, mostly monthly at least, and basically answering people's questions, giving sort of previews and hints of new sets and new mechanics and stuff like that. And it was cool, just sort of discussions. So he said that he just on his own is going to be doing that again this weekend on Saturday, which would be tomorrow. He said morning Eastern time, so didn't give an exact time, but he said keep an eye on the global US group for times and the link to the Twitch stream, which he'll be doing it on Twitch. And he hinted that it'd probably just be on the Force of Will Twitch that he had used before because as he had said in our Q&A when he had first left, that he still had access to it and the company never asked for it. So he'll just be on there, just sort of chilling, discussing different topics, talking about the My Will studio that he and Eiji are with, as well as personal projects he might be working on, just a lot of different things like that. So it should be a fun conversation. So be sure to go over and check that out. There was a promo mix-up this past week. If you guys follow the Force of Will official page, they had posted for the new promo for next month, and they had said that it was going to be fairy summoning from Fairy Tale World, which was a promo from last year in June, and everyone was understandably pretty upset, thinking that they're going to be sending out reprinted promos because it was on the website as well. And 3 days later, they came out and said that, oh, that was an accident. Both the official Force Will page and through Svetlana had came out and said that it was a clerical error and that they will be that they updated it correctly and that its Contract Demon will be the promo for the upcoming month. So that's cool, that was fixed. At least it's not the reprint, although it is a little unfortunate that something like that could happen, that not only did it go through the stages to get to the Facebook page, but it was posted there and sitting there. And immediately people pointed it out, but it took 3 days for them to finally correct it. Is a little bit unfortunate, and no one realized that that was a promo from a year ago, when anyone who's played a game of Force Will should know that. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but at least it is not a reprint promo. But on the flip side, it is a promo that in other regions was part of June's promo. So in June, other regions got 2 different promos, and Contract Demon was one of them. And looks like for the US, they're stretching that out. So we only got 1 promo in June, and this will be the promo in July rather than 2 in a month like usually was, or like the other regions got. So not sure if this is a global thing that they're slowly inching towards only doing 1 promo per month, or if it only be US. But yeah, I thought that was a little bit unfortunate, but at least it's something. Next up is this weekend, there's going to be a 1K that Games and Geek is holding. So they do these every once in a while, which is pretty cool. But the unique thing about this one is they got these really cool gold-plated pricing for it, or not necessarily pricing, but entry promos for VIP entries. And these were made by the same company who did the Malaysian or the same company in Malaysia that did the energized tokens and different things like that. And so these are gold plated. There's one for each of the will powers or will symbols, and they look really cool with that sort of really bold gold look to it. So those are really awesome. Only people who do this specific entry into the tournament will automatically be guaranteed to get one. So it'd be cool to see if we see some of these floating around in the marketplace, or if Games and Geek or other people end up using these more in other tournaments so that other people can get access to them, or they just have more in the market to get. But I would really love to get one of these one day, but they're super cool looking. So glad to see that, and keep an eye out to see what the results of that 1K are as well. And now it looks like Force Will might not be at Gen Con this year. If you guys follow Force Will, you know that each year they've been going to Gen Con. Most notably this last year, they had gone to Gen Con and made a whole big thing about it, where they were giving away promo cards. They were giving away or selling exclusive energized tokens with Uber versions of the tokens. That's where we got the little red little statue that people could paint, was exclusively from there. And they used that to sort of build hype in the community during the event at Gen Con to reveal spoilers from the new set, among other things. And it was just really cool. So people who weren't at the event were basically participating in the hype factor as well. But it looks like as of right now, Force of Will not be at Gen Con. Someone had noticed that Force of Will hadn't said anything about it, and they looked at the vendor list and the map of Gen Con and noticed that Force of Will is nowhere to be seen on there. I had reached out to try and see if this is officially confirmed they won't be there, and haven't heard back. But as of right now, with all the information available, it looks like unfortunately they will not be attending, which is sad because last year was super cool. And it made even Oscar and I kind of want to go to Gen Con this year. Whether or not we would is a different story, but even more that we really want to at least look into it because mainly because of Force of Will being there and how cool it was last year. But yeah, so if that changes, we'll let you guys know. But as of right now, it looks like they won't be attending. A new Caster Chronicles set was announced. So this was just announced, and it's going to be called Polar Night, and it will be releasing August 30th. So the cool thing about this is not only are they releasing a new set, but another dual starter deck. So the last one was 2 different decks that you just bought in one starter deck, and they were sort of opposites of each other. It was angels and demons fighting each other. And so that sounds like they're going to be doing something similar here with the booster box and the starter deck. So that's pretty cool that they're sort of continuing the trend, possibly with each booster box that comes out, which makes sense because of how small the booster boxes are. It's cool to have just more product to keep buying. And release some art for this set as well, as you can see here. It's just 2 pieces of art, but it obviously gives you a good taste of what's going to be happening. But yeah, that'll be exciting to see. I'm mainly hoping that they improve the card quality a bit, mainly the full arts going back to texture and different things like that, as I wasn't too impressed with the last set, especially considering before that I was like extremely impressed with the different quality of the cards, especially the full art textures. I felt was even at times better than Force of Will. So I'm hoping they go back to that, but in the meantime, that's something to look forward to. And if you guys are wanting to get into Caster Chronicles or wanting to pre-order that set, like I mentioned, Happy Little Hug Factory does have these up for pre-order. So be sure to click the link in the description below to go over and pick yours up there. If you are in the Austin area, we are going to be holding an ARG kind of event here, and that's going to be happening on July 13th. Now this is outside of the window for if you were to get first place to get the invitation to ARG Nationals, because I think that ends sometime in June or something like that, but it'll still be a really cool event. We'll have all the playmats for the first 16 people at least, if there's more than 16, but 16 people are guaranteed that Sylvia playmat, which is pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited about that. And we'll have a judge there. We're going to be adding extra pricing to it, extra promos and different things like that. Anything else we can add to the pot to make it a really cool big event. So if you guys are in the Austin area around that time, just be sure to come by and swing around and check it out. It'll be over at Mothership Books and Games here. And we hope to see everyone there, and excited to do that. We'll also be at RTX the previous weekend. So if you guys happen to be at RTX Austin, we'll be sort of walking around. And if any of you guys happen to be there and want to play Force of Will, let us know, and we'll go ahead and bring some of our Force of Will product to the event. We'll be there all 3 days, so just let us know what days you guys will be there, and we'll try and see if we can get some sort of mini tournament going, or just some fun games, whether it be Force of Will, a deck builder, or something else. Love to hang out with some new peeps and just have some fun. So if you guys are attending that, just let us know. Also, our friend Nathan over at N8 Gaming on YouTube here did a really cool video that I just wanted to real quick promote, where it's a music video where he goes through the different cards, like building a deck, and the cards sort of seen with the song. It's pretty awesome. You should just go check it out for yourself. I'll have a link in the description below, but check it out and subscribe, because he also does Force of Will content, which is pretty cool. And lastly, we're going to do a big dump of Kickstarter info from Argent Saga. So a lot of stuff happened this past little while, and thankfully we waited a little, well, not thankfully, but our news was obviously late this week, but it allowed us to get more info gathered to be better prepared for some of this. So we'll go ahead and get started. So if you have been following, Argent Saga has their Kickstarter going, and this past week they met their goal of $50,000. They actually met it within a week, I think, of it launching, so that's pretty cool. So that's fully funded, and yeah, so basically now from this point forward, they're going to be going towards stretch goals. So they have three different stretch goals at 75,000, 100,000, and 125,000 marks. And during this past week, they actually revealed that the first 75,000 stretch goal is going to be a promo card, a full art promo of Yuki. And you can go for, if you want to see the details of that, we can go check. We did a spoiler video where we went over the spoilers of that day for Argent Saga. And at the very end, we went over the Yuki promo because it was spoiled that day as well. But it's a pretty cool card, and it's actually a really decent effect that will probably run in a lot of light decks, I would think. We'll have to wait and see how the meta rolls out. But this will be available to anyone who pledged $75 or more on the Kickstarter if the stretch goal of 75,000 is met. So that's kind of cool. The downside of this is revealed that this wasn't like an exclusive art to the Kickstarter. It's just a straight up exclusive card to the Kickstarter, meaning this is not in any starter decks and it won't be in the first set or anything like that. So as you guys probably know, I'm not a big fan of things like that, cards that are available outside of the set exclusively. And this is sort of compounded more because it's only available on a Kickstarter to 75 and above. So by my math right now, that would be somewhere above around 200 of these cards would be in existence in the world, which makes it physically impossible for large majority of players to ever even look at this card, let alone play it. Especially considering that you would need a play set of 3, they confirmed that you would only be getting 1 card, no matter how much you pledged on Kickstarter, you would only be getting 1 card after $75. So there's not going to be a whole lot of these in circulation, and that's going to be a bit unfortunate, especially since the game hasn't even launched yet. We're still in the Kickstarter phase. So to introduce an exclusive card like this is a little iffy for me. We'll see how they do it, because they did add another tier that can help remedy it, and they did hint that they might release it to the local stores or something along those lines, maybe to help bring more of these into circulation. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But there's for sure tournaments that will happen in between now and then when they might reprint it. So there's just going to be a natural advantage if this turns out to be a meta-defining card. Because even if you have the money to spend to get a playset of these, because of how small quantity, there just might not be anyone who's willing to part with them to sell them to you, because 200 or 200 blankety blank in existence is not a lot, but we'll have to wait and see what they do with that. But they did add new tiers. They added 1 tier at $80, which gives you all 5 of the starter decks, not the alphas, but the actual real starter decks, which is cool just to have that on there. And that would also qualify you for the Yuki promo. And they also, and this is the tier I was mentioning, added a $270 tier. And so this tier gives you 3 booster boxes, plus a 4th booster box, which will go to your locals, which they explained they would get the info for your locals and I believe send them to your local game store, all 4 of them. And then you'd go and pick up your 3 and they would keep the 4th one, which is kind of a cool way to get it going at your locals, because $207 would be roughly the price of those 3 boosters you'd get. And so it's just a free one for your locals. But it also gives you 2 Yuki promos. So if you get that tier and the stretch goal is unlocked, then you would get all 3 Yukis, which is a play set. So that's one way to kind of help. It's at the $270 mark, so it's still pretty steep, but we'll see if that helps alleviate some of the concerns people have. I know me personally, it obviously doesn't, because I'm not a fan of any lock cards, period. But unless it's just a jank card that doesn't matter, and kind of like the Force of Will movie card that doesn't do anything, stuff like that is obviously perfectly fine. But you know, we'll wait and see. Obviously, other people have different opinions, and you guys know mine. As if you follow Force of Will at all, how I feel about the Arwen promo and the Time Spinning Witch promo and stuff like that. But yeah, so those are the new tiers that are unlocked, and I'll have a link for their Kickstarter in the description below as well. And like I mentioned, we are doing daily spoiler videos for Argent Saga, so if you're interested in that, be sure to check those out. They're releasing spoilers daily, so we are obviously covering them daily. And there's some pretty cool stuff, and we're just going through the commons right now, and I believe it switches to uncommons, and then it'll keep going higher in rarity as the spoilers go on. But yeah, so that's all the news for today. Let us know what you guys think of all that, and if we missed anything, let us know in the comments below, and we'll be sure to pin it or add it into next week's news, and we'll see you guys next week.